Hi everyone, my name is Willow Rose Moondancer. I make videos here on YouTube and I also have a blog called WiccansAren'tWicked.com. Today we are going to be talking about the beliefs on sex in Wicca. So as we know, in many religions, sex is thought of something that should only happen between husband and wife, and otherwise it's very sinful and wrong. Most religions don't think of their deities as being sexual beings. However, in Wicca, we have actual holidays that celebrate the fact that our deities are sexual beings. Wicca in itself is a fertility-based religion. And when I say that, I mean that we already know that Wicca is a nature-based religion. But nature doesn't just happen. Nature happens by reproduction. To reproduce, we obviously have to be fertile, and for most living beings, reproduction involves having sex. All through Wicca, you can find various fertility symbols. For example, we have the Wheel of the Year, which is about the earth fertility. It's also an entire cycle based around the conception of the god and the pregnancy of the goddess. Then we also have Beltane, and during Beltane we actually dance around the maypole, which is a phallic symbol. And when we have our altar set up and we're doing ritual, we often have an athame or a wand, and those are all masculine symbols. And you might also have a cauldron or your pentacle, and those are the feminine symbols. Wiccans see sex as healthy and natural and a positive act. And due to this, it is typically accepted that sexuality is human nature. Wiccans typically don't have anything against nudity, and if anything are pro-nudity, considering that many people that are Wiccan practice either individually or within a coven in skyclad, which is naked. Nowhere in the Read or any other Wiccan document does it say anything about sex before marriage. And despite all of this, you have to remember that not all Wiccans are sexually active. Sex is an individual decision. You could have many partners, you could only have sex in serious relationships within marriage, or you could be celibate. Any of those options are okay, and it's an individual's choice which one they do. Another thing in Wicca is that we have sex magic, and that's something I'm not going to get into on this video, but I have talked about it in my blog post about sex in Wicca, which I'll leave a link to down below. And another thing to remember is that Wiccans generally follow the very liberal viewpoint about sexual orientation. And so therefore, if you come across a Wiccan who is homophobic, that person is homophobic most likely due to personal beliefs rather than spiritual beliefs, or due to religious scripture, because that's just not something that anybody in this path really sees an issue with. Despite all of this, there is unhealthy sex that Wiccans do not encourage. So these would be an imbalance of power. Obviously, there are consensual, legal situations where that is okay, but for the most part, it's not. So for example, a child and an adult, or a teacher and a student. Anybody who has some sort of authority over someone else, a boss and an employee. Then we have sex for things other than an intimate connection. So like for manipulation, to fill a void that someone else left, or due to an obsession. sex should not be treated as a drug. Then obviously we have non-consensual sex. If someone has not consented, then it is not okay in anybody's belief system. And lastly, irresponsible sex. So if you are knowingly opening yourself up to disease, or openly passing on disease, or if you are not having protected sex when you're not trying to have a child, that is something that is frowned upon by most people, I would think, but in Wicca specifically. That is all I have for today's video though. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out my blog, wiccansaren'twicked.com. I make posts every Wednesday and Friday. And make sure you follow me here because I make videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, blessed be.